Hi Diksha, welcome to Talk with Bajaj podcast series and pleasure to have you here.
Hey Shweta, it's fantastic to be here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful and today we are going to learn what you are doing and what we can learn from you. So first tell me about yourself.
I have a very weird career journey, like I was sharing with you. I actually started off as a chartered accountant and worked for a couple of years, and then I went on to do my MBA at ISB. Worked in consulting, then was a part of the founding team of Aditya Birla Health Insurance. Um, and there I kind of switched from like strategy into product management, and I realized my passion and love for product. And somewhere down this line, I said if I want to do product, I would, like if I want to work in tech, I would definitely want to work at one of the best companies in the world. And Google happened, and today I'm a part of a loyalty program at Google, and I lead the US market for the loyalty program. I had the opportunity to launch something called Playpoints in India, and beyond work, I actually have my own YouTube channel called Behind the Feature, where I talk to product leaders and I break down go to market marketing case studies. And I love dancing. And you can find, I would love to dance anywhere if given the opportunity. And these days, I've decided so every year I give myself a new challenge, and the challenge this year is my gymming challenge that I've given myself. So I make sure I hit the gym, get healthier, but also I want to learn a new musical instrument. It's still in my head, but I'm going to get there eventually.
Wonderful, like lots of achievements and lots to go. And yeah, absolutely, I can relate with you. I love dance too. It's great. Yeah, like Diksha, you have achieved and you have like you are on the stage where I think most of the women and most of the tech people want to be, at Google or product people want to be who want to in this industry. So I want to know from you, Diksha, like when you started your journey, in school, then after your college there, what was your plan, like where I want to move forward?
So I think I never really had a plan other than when I was in school and 11th standard. I said, you know what, I want to be a CA because I met one uncle in Singapore and I said, wow, you get to live in Singapore if you do a CA degree. I mean, that was my sense of what the degree is. And then I put all of my energy into making that happen. And during the course of, once I got there, I was like, now what? Right? Like there was that question. Um, so in some sense, I will say even today, if you ask me what is my career plan, what is my journey, I'll be very honest. I'm just taking it as it comes and opening up myself to new challenges. But the one thing I believe that has got me here is hard work. And I don't think there has been, I I don't think like people like, right place at right time, luck, and those kind of things. I feel like for me, it was 90% hard work and 10% luck, but there was no excuse for not working hard. And for me, that has paid off now.
Amazing. Actually, I really believe in that. We have to do, and you have done work, that's incredible. So, Diksha, like you mentioned, you are good. Like, I think you have done degree in finance, so you're good with numbers. So, I want to know from you, like here in Google, what was your experience? Whether numbers and your degrees help there?
So definitely, like I feel like there is not nothing that I have done that has not. So I actually look back and I was like, "Who do I still use my CA degree?" But that is what even today, as a marketeer, it gives me a very different financial bent of mind, which differentiates me from the other marketeers here. Because one, my understanding of numbers, understanding of data, no matter which role you are in today, whether it's product, marketing, sales, you need to understand data and you need to have a good hold on numbers. And having that actually, the genesis of it done properly at the ground level for me has helped pay that off even today. And I think my love for numbers is always there. And my CA degree always, like, I sometimes still behave as an auditor, even as a marketer, which I think annoys a lot of people. But I don't let a campaign go till I don't analyze it, till I don't understand what was the impact. And then I'm like, okay, how can we do this better? And that's something that I will give to my finance degree. And nothing that you do or nothing that you study is ever a waste. In the longer scheme of things, I'm not going into like cost and like geometry things, but yes, when you're doing it, always
Think like how much work is important for women?
see. I mean, I think this is something that's extremely personal to each person, and I don't think I can generalize this for anyone. What I can do definitely is talk about my journey. I've been extremely lucky that my parents were, I think, in terms of education, I feel at times I was given more educational preference than my own brother, which sometimes is a problem. I feel like it did, but lucky to have been born in a house in India where education was extremely important, right? There was no question of, right, and going up to the highest degree that I would love to pursue and I would love to, and always having your parents standing behind you. And I think that also instilled the second thing that did happen for me is I'm surrounded by equally ambitious women. I always believe that you are a sum total of the five friends that you hang out with. I'm lucky I had seven of them for the last 20 years. And each and every one of them today is either a successful investment banker, successful product managers, successful salespeople, successful stand up comedians, and designers, right? So, no matter which field we all took, career was something that was extremely important. So, to be picking the kind of people who do push you to have that in your career was the second most important thing. And the third thing that I feel like our generation is luckier to have is a lot of women before us have paved the way for us even at corporate jobs, right? Like we don't have those issues. When I joined Aditya Birla and I used to work with very senior women leaders, and they used to tell me stories about they used to work in factories and there were not even toilets like for women, right? Today, we have none of those challenges. All the workplaces are acclimatized for women. They are made sure like we are comfortable in every way that's possible. And I have these women leaders around me who have always inspired me to be better and to make sure that so they not only manage work at very senior positions, they have families, they have kids, they also are doing a PhD, they also have hobbies. And this kind of showcases to me, yes, that women can have it all. And I'm just lucky that I have surrounded from my childhood, from my parents, from my friends, to the leaders that I work with today that continuously inspire me. That yes, women can work and it will not hamper their own personal life. And I'm lucky to have a husband who's equally supportive to allow me to, to like push me for my own dreams and let me go ahead and achieve whatever I like. So I think all of that matters. And it's to each his own, and we should not like be able to comment on somebody's story.
Absolutely. I agree, like here, that everyone's story is different, everyone's journey is different, and yes, I want to learn that only. I want to know that only. Like ambitious women's circle and the surrounding help us to push forward, and that what matters. And now personal branding. If we talk about personal branding, if we talk about storytelling, you have your story. Everyone have a story. Here, I want to know more about storytelling. Like when you design product, or what, how much storytelling is important. What do you think?
So today more than ever, I mean, if you're a product marketer, what is it at the end of the day that you have to be ability to tell your story. But today's storytelling is not limited to what you're selling. It's also, I will say, are you able to tell your story? If I meet you in an elevator and you have 2 minutes, to tell me what you do, can you tell me your story well enough that I will remember you once I leave that elevator? And these are things I think when you're early in your career, you do not realize, you kind of take it for granted. But as I've been working for the last 15 years now. And this is when I've realized that for me, it started more as something that I was very curious about. And then it quickly turned into something that I actually enjoy. And I love breaking things down And I love telling people stories, and I love learning myself from stories slash real life case studies, in the sense that people have. The thing that I actually started noticing more and more was in every room I was in, I would rarely see women telling these stories, right? If you do end up going onto YouTube, going on to like the podcast world, you will see women telling stories on, being great entrepreneurs, being amazing finance influencers, fashion influencers. But when it came to the product world, I was not finding that many women in tech. And I said, you know what? This for me also has to change, because I wanted more and more women to pick product as a career path, right? And that's when I started my own channel, my content series, saying, hey, let me actually start this with two goals. One is where India's top product leaders will come and share their story. But the second was to bring more people, especially women, into this conversation. And what I can tell you is at the end of it is, it's more like the time right now more than ever is the time for women to lean into storytelling and branding, because we're just no longer executing behind the scenes, right? We're leading, we're influencing, we're shaping conversations. So people definitely need more real life stories, and I think it's women should just come and share their stories more and more, and they should just get started.
Fascinating. I can say that, like women and product designers, when they come forward, share their stories, their journeys, it help and motivate more people to join the tribe. I totally agree with it. And here, I also want to know from you, and I think every audience want to know storytelling, right? Everyone say, yeah, I have my story. You have your story. How to tell story? Like, what key components of story? So, any three key components of storytelling you can tell?
I think first one is authenticity. See, I cannot copy paste someone's story. It's great if AI can write everybody's stories, but my first thing will be authentic, which means be yourself. And to do that, you need to know yourself and you need to understand yourself. So, first one will definitely be authentic, tell your story. Second one is just the ability to structure it in a way, in the right way, that it is interesting, and keep it as simple as someone who is a 20-year-old or a 15-year-old can also understand it. So the simpler that you can keep things, always keep in mind that your audience is not you, right? The person you're talking to has absolutely no idea. So avoid jargons, avoid these terminologies, these great delulu and all these kind of terms that maybe connect with your generation but not the generation before or after you. And the third thing that I'll always tell for storytelling is practice, right? Nobody who goes up there just like is born with it. Like, it's very, very few people who are rarely born with it. It's extremely important to practice and practice. Even the best leaders in the world practice today before they go up and they give out a presentation. So whenever you get an opportunity, whether at work, I'll actually give you an example. Last week, it was my brother-in-law's 40th birthday, and I'm like, whenever there's an opportunity to go stand up in front of people and just talk, it's not, I mean, it's obviously I love it, but it's also because it gives me the confidence and the practice that I am able to talk to a large gathering. So the opportunity does not have to be, hey, I only at work. It can be at home, it can be at family functions, it can be with your friends. I just did my friend's baby shower, I did my friend's engagement party. So, I mean, a lot of this comes out wherever you get an opportunity, go and practice.
Yes, I can say that we can practice elevator pitch as well, which you have mentioned. Like, we should know how to present ourselves wherever we are going. And about storytelling, wonderful three key points you have shared. But which I loved is authenticity. That nowadays everyone can copy paste through AI by AI, and yeah, it's very important. So, I want to know, Diksha, from you, like apart from your career, like about from you, like question here is like storytelling, as you mentioned, how you are including this storytelling in your life.
Okay. Sure. So, one is, I mean, definitely I realized that I love doing it. So I've actually started breaking down. So my expertise is go to market. This is what I do day in and day out at work, and I also do strategy. So I said, hey, why not bring this, to the LinkedIn world? Um, and I've started doing breaking down case studies, but it's not easy when you just break down. It's not about saying, hey, this. When you're actually breaking down the case study, you're actually telling the story of that brand, saying, this is where it started. Or if, for example, if Swiggy has introduced a new feature, which is the shopping list feature, what was it that went behind introducing it? What were the feature changes? Who was the target audience? Why do you think they introduced it? Um, and then what is it that they're hoping to achieve out of it, right? What is the impact that they're trying to drive? And finally, what could they do better? So whenever I'm writing out my case studies or I'm researching them, and then I actually transfer this to the LinkedIn world, it gives me more, makes me a sharper professional, a better professional, not only because I'm doing it on LinkedIn, but even when I bring that back to work, it brings more structure into my thinking because I've actually studied other brands, and then it also gives me better ideas. So my storytelling now has extended to the LinkedIn world, where I love sharing different strategies that brands are doing, whether it's Netflix, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Swiggy, Zepto, some of the brands I use. And I'll be very honest today, where it has actually come from is even the smallest thing in my head has now started becoming a story. It kind of starts becoming very intuitively and second nature. It does not, it comes more naturally now to me versus it did a while back, because I've done it so many times. So if I'm using an app and a pop-up pops up and I'm like, wow, okay, now let's start thinking, why did someone do it? What was the story behind it? And how do I bring the story to my audience?
Yes, absolutely. When we are using any app and we find out the feature, like, wow, what's the feature it is and how I can include or what we can learn from it. Absolutely. And yeah, LinkedIn, I have seen your videos, you have sharing the brand case study. It's absolutely amazing. And here, storytelling, as you mentioned, we can include in. I want to know more about, like you mentioned, it becomes second nature. Any idea which catch your fancy, like you find it very interesting, or any book, or like,
Um,
yeah.
so for me, I'll be honest, more day-to-day stuff is where I start getting my inspirations from. When I'm ordering groceries, and or like what are the challenges that I would face, right? Or someone at work mentions something, or my friends are struggling with something. Even something as small as I've just recently like installed this digital lock on my door, right? And then I'm just thinking, I'm like, why has Urban Company not promoted it? Like we had to research it. Um, so my inspiration for my storytelling currently comes from the brands I use and the brands I know. So I watch Netflix. I'm sitting, and the second part of it, where it comes from, is give that I've had, right? Um, I feel like now I'm at a stage where I can share my inputs with people, my journey, how I got here. And the third big place is also I've started mentoring students, on, their careers, and, they reach out to me, whether it's, how can they be better professional, how can they be better product marketeers. And that's when I talk to them, like just before even so at Google, we have something called Google peer-to-peer coaching, where I coach, um, people who come in. And that's when, whenever I talk to them, that's also where my inspiration comes from, seeing the challenges that they are facing. I've lived through it. How can I help them be better professionals?
It's a great initiative, and you are doing wonderful things and helping people over there to improve their careers, to include storytelling in their lives and their careers. Yeah, and here I want to know like more about you. Like anything you are, it's like different topic. Anything you are unlearning?
Um, See, honestly, what I'm having to unlearn is my ability to stop dancing at this moment. On a very serious note, I actually had a tailbone injury 2 years back. I fell really badly, and I was like on bed rest for 6 to 8 months. Even today, I'm like, for this year also, I've been back into physio. I keep getting relapses, and you realize this organ in your body exists, but you did not realize how important it was. I can't even sit for long periods of time, and from that entire low point in my life is where I can't dance, right? I'm someone who loves dancing, and even today I have like strict rules to dance. So a part of me is learning to be more still, which is extremely hard for me at times. And from that place is where a lot of my content series and behind the feature was also born, saying, hey, if I can't do dancing, where can I find more, something else that I'm more passionate about? So yeah, that's a bit.
Kudos to you. I mean, you are so courageous and you are inspiring now, everyone here. And where everyone can reach out to you, like you are doing wonderful stuff. You are making LinkedIn videos. You are helping people in their career. If someone want to get into product field or designing branding field, yeah. So I want to know from you, like if someone want to reach out to you and want to learn something from you, so how they can reach out to you.
So I actually have a top mate page, Shweta. I'll share that with you and you can link it here. And if they want to, they can feel free to book a slot with me and I'll be happy to help them.
Amazing. You are helping people by peer-to-peer
Coaching.
I want to know more about.
So that's a more Google initiative where we're trained to be coaches. So we have a G2G coaching. And once you do, then you can actually coach other people within Google. It's only limited to our own employees. And that's a very Google culture saying, hey, how can we help each other grow and become better professionals? And for me, that has been one of it's a great way for me to learn how to be a good coach. Because we also have proper structured ways on, how you train, like they train you. And then when we do sessions every week, it kind of helps us.
Got it. Yes, everyone, if you are looking forward to reach out to Diksha, you can also, a link is below in the description. You can just reach out to her. And also she has a wonderful YouTube channel. You can also watch out that channel as well with great videos. I am really inspired, and anyone who want to go into product designing, storytelling, want to know more about it, can check this out. And also there is one handbook link which I'm going to share so that you can also get more knowledge about this. Anything, Diksha is here and we are also here to help you out.